So living in a fast-paced society, we tend not to take time to educate ourselves on other countries besides our own. So today I want to enlighten you the wonders and lifestyle of Jamaican culture. The reason why I chose Jamaica, I know it's kind of random. I have been there twice with a total of 2 weeks, and I got to spend time with the Jamaicans and see how they live and interact with them and live with them and stuff, with like a group of people and a team. So doing that, I got to learn a lot about different cultures, so that was interesting. So what I will be talking about is kind of Jamaica as a whole and the people there, their religion, food, and language. So in Jamaica, it is a tropical island located in the Caribbean, just south of Cuba, and they have a black population of 90.9% and an overall population of 2,713,130 people, estimated in 2004. And Jamaicans are pretty much known for being very straightforward but also friendly, so that can kind of be difficult for us as Americans to understand. So you would have to have that mindset that they're going to be very straightforward with you when you go down to, if you ever go down to Jamaica. So try not to take offense of that. A story of something that happened, one of my teammates, she was a lot bigger, and 2 Jamaican girls were saying that, oh look, she's a big whale, and they weren't necessarily trying to be rude, they're just very honest and straight out there and very forward. So they'll speak their minds, and yeah, so we couldn't take offense to that. And their religion is mainly Christian down there, but Jamaica is known for their Rastafarians, also known as Rastas. So most of you, I think, have heard of Bob Marley right here, and he's one of the most famous Jamaicans, and he's also a Rasta. Rastas believe that they are one of the lost tribes of Israel who were sold into slavery and taken to Jamaica and must return to Zion in Ethiopia. This movement doesn't have any organized congregations or written doctrine, and Rastas also will smoke weed to aid in their reasoning, and they also relate in reggae music. So a lot of reggae artists are Rastas, and they also have the big hats that I'm sure you guys have seen with dreadlocks, and they're all vegetarian. So Rastas are very just kind of, I guess you would say, like hippies kind of. So going down there, and when I was there, we were a church group, so we had to kind of be careful to talk to them, especially since Jamaicans are very straightforward, and we just had to kind of be careful with them. And for food, Jamaica is, their main dish would be jerk chicken and dirty rice. So a lot of their food is spicy, and they have a different variety of food. For dinner almost every night we had jerk chicken and rice, so that kind of got old, but I mean, I kind of miss it. And then they're also, being a tropical island, are full of different fruits, and we would just stop on the side of the road, and almost every mile someone was selling different types of fruit that they picked themselves. So the cuisine there is influenced by the Spanish, British, Africans, Indians, and Chinese. And most of the food there in Jamaica is locally grown, and they have a varieties of meat, fruit, seafood, and pretty much all different types of food there. For the language, their main language is English, like us, but many Jamaicans can speak and understand something called Patois, and that's a combination of English and some African languages. Almost all Jamaicans can understand this, but it's not a written language. So some of you guys might have actually heard of some of the words, like Iriman, that kind of means just be happy, and they say kind of mon instead of man. They say dem instead of them, and they're very different with their words. But even when they speak English, there's a very distinct rhythm and style to their words. And as the Jamaicans, we would go out on the streets and you can actually there'd be like a little child walking around, and you can literally pick it up and walk away with it, and that's pretty much normal. So when we would go visit children and go out on the streets, you can just pick up a kid and it would fall asleep on you, and you'd be like, okay, whose kid is this? I have to go. And then some other little kid would just take the baby, and so that's also very different than our society. That's another reason how they're very just laid back and kind of just go with the flow. I mean, you can pick up a kid. And so here is actually when we went to visit a school, they all have different uniforms at their school, so that's just a group of the kids there. And so I mean, for a country who speaks the same language as us, they're still very different and a lot more relaxed and have a bunch of different cultures to themselves. And so hopefully learning a little bit more about Jamaica has inspired you all to maybe discover more about it, or maybe more about a different country, or maybe even visit it one day. Thank you. Good job.
Yeah.
So Fernando, tell us what you thought.
I thought the speech was actually very clear to me. Right away I noticed what the main thesis, what the speech was going to be. I like how she outlined the main points on her poster, the quadrants. I really did enjoy the poster she did. Very cute. I like the picture she has, all the school kids. I can honestly see the atmosphere she's trying to portray of the country. Overall, I enjoyed her speech. I would say maybe she read a little less, but overall, I think maybe that she did a good job on her speech.
Okay. Well, let me start with the thing that you talked about, the visuals. I think you have the advantage over all the rest of us in that the poster was right in front of you, because I think it's a little bit hard to see from the rest of the class, and there isn't really a reference made to the 4 quadrants that you talked about, and I think that there's information there. You're using it to organize your speech. You need to integrate that into the speech and make those references if that's what that information is. Like I said, I'm only a few feet back from where he is. I could see words, but I couldn't read the whole thing, and I never really got the sense that anything except the 2 pictures were a part of the speech. You make the reference to the Bob Marley picture and then the picture of the kids in their school uniforms, and that's about it. I didn't hear references to anything else that was on the poster, and so I don't think it's accomplishing what you want it to there. The 2 pictures that you show, the Bob Marley picture is it's kind of a small picture, but it's large enough everybody can see because it's just a single image. The one with the kids, I think that probably half the class here can see a little bit on it. And the others, they can see it's a picture of a group of kids, but you can't pick out anything individual about it. And so I think it's one of those places where the image is a little small for the size of the audience that you're talking to. I know you're trying to keep it simple and low tech here, But I think as a consequence, you don't get the opportunity to make use of the information that you've actually got on your visual as much as you might have. I like you've got a dramatic statement at the beginning and a personal justification for talking about this. I think that's fine. We know what your goal is. That's pretty good. There's an okay preview of the material. I did think, however, during the body of the speech that it just turned into information being listed, and I didn't really get the idea that it was structured the way it had been set up at the beginning of the speech. It just sounded like, you know, bullet points of information, and instead of being organized in some way, and I thought that that was a little bit problematic. I didn't think that you were reading too much. In fact, I thought that that was probably the strongest part of the speech, is that you do talk to the audience for the most part. You're looking at us, and you're talking from experience. When you're telling that whole story about picking up the kids, although that might seem a little creepy to some people in this culture, say, yeah, you can just help yourself to a kid. And I'm going, man, you know, if I was short one, can I leave some? That's what I want to be able to do. Can I just leave some of them there? You know, that might be a little bit different. But I mean, you speak very naturally when you're doing that and telling the story. And I think you do that a lot during the presentation. You want to keep doing that kind of thing. But what you want to talk about is more of the the other information and get it structured. Like I said, it felt a little bit at the beginning like we're getting that travel tips lecture about Jamaica at the beginning, and then when you start talking about the cultural things, they seem like random observations instead of something that's being, you know, organized and built up a little bit. All right, thank you. Oh, and you've got an output for there. Okay. Well, that can't be right. Did I lose somebody? Did I walk by somebody? All right, well, I did get an email from Kimberly that she was not going to be here. And I got two other people that were scheduled. Alexis and Junior, are either of you here?
Yeah.
And are you ready to go?
I was wondering if I could go on Wednesday.
Well, I have 10 other people scheduled on Wednesday. Now, if those 10 people don't use all their time, or 4 of them don't show up, then I can plug you in. But I can't guarantee you that you'll be able to go on Wednesday.
All right, because
So-
I don't have my visual aids right now.
So you're not, okay, so not ready right now. You know, we'll probably, I scheduled us all on 3 days. On the 4th day, next week on Wednesday, we'll do a little bit of catch up. We are going to get started on the next project that day, so I do have some time built in there for catch up, but I don't want to use too much of it. You know, I got room for ketchup, but no room for mustard, is the truth. All right. Yeah, I told you there were bad jokes coming. They just wouldn't be about that other subject. All right, and Alexis is not here? Why didn't I drop him?
Is that the guy that?
Yeah, and then he reappeared. I was about to drop him. He said he was. Then he showed up and was here, and now he's not here.
That's a fail.
Yeah, I don't know. Not good. So, what? No, he's right. And by the way, we've got that whole conversation.